All right, guys, welcome back. Today, Monica Bozinov and Simon Severino help you find your right positioning. Who are you? What do you stand for as a person and as a business? Those things are related. We have to look at both because there is no real separation between them. And it takes forever to actually find it out. For me, it was decades. And I will share some examples. And when it hits, it's a whole different ballgame because now pricing becomes easier, your offer becomes clearer, and your conversations generate win rates, higher win rates, because it's just genuine, it's clear, it's natural. You don't need any tactics, you don't need negotiations, none of that, because it's just right, it's natural, it's the right thing at the right moment. But how do we get there? And it can take forever. So let's jump into it. Monica,
Okay.
welcome.
Yes. Thank you, Simon. It does take, yeah, I would agree, it does take decades. And the painful truth. I would so say that it's really easy to do, and it's not.
It's not. I mean, how long did it take you?
Well, I had a big epiphany last year. So, as an entrepreneur, 20 years plus, as a human being, my entire life.
Exactly. So it is a lifelong exercise, right? To listen for the cues from the market, from your clients, from your vendors, from your peers, from your colleagues, and then get to that point when you see the pattern clearly and say, oh, that's what I stand for. Now this is clear. I had an epiphany this weekend, actually. 23 years being a sales coach, and everybody thinks we got it dialed in, right? Because everything, the colors, the words, everything is aligned, and people think we got it dialed in. Well, it's not. It can be on some level, but you can always go deeper into understanding. And this is what happened to me. I went like a mile deeper in understanding who I am and what I'm being when I am a business coach. And it happened in a completely different context. I took 3 days off to go to a certification that I always wanted to do. It's what basically a vacation for me. I said, I'm going to do Pilates teacher training and I'm going to get certified. And everybody was laughing. Yeah, you as a Pilates teacher, you don't have time to teach Pilates. I don't plan to teach Pilates. I plan to have fun. I want to be 3 days just with playlists, with international, athletic people like me. I just want to have fun. 3 days having fun. And so they flew to Vienna. I was showing them around the city. It was an amazing group. And we had fun for 3 days. What I did not expect is that it would change my understanding of who I am, who
In
I
what
am
way?
being. So Gabby, the teacher, she's amazing. Gabby Walters, shout out, she rocks. She invented this method, which is a baby of CrossFit and yoga. If CrossFit and yoga had a baby, that would be Inferno Hot Pilates. That's what it's called. So it's a high intensity training, 60 minutes. And what it does is it makes you so strong that you walk out of there and you go, I can do anything. Anything. I just did so many burpees without dying. I can do anything today. Bring it on. I'm unstoppable. And so that alone is fun. And so I did 200 classes as a scholar myself, right? As a student, and it works. It makes me stronger, better husband, better dad. I can lift my kids all day, no problem, because my core is strong. I'm a better rower. I can lift more weights because my glutes are activated. And so turns out most people don't activate their glutes enough, and that creates problem in the back pain. Everybody has back pains. Why? Because you don't activate your glutes. And Joseph Pilates and Gabby Walters found a way to activate the glutes. Now, I do this and I see her teaching, and first she was teaching less words, more clarity. So I learned from her how to teach better. That's what the first thing. Second thing, we were doing playlists all day because you are designing a space for that transformation to happen. Somebody comes in, a normal person, gets out a super person. Like, I can do this, right? They get out with such a high confidence, and because they broke through a limitation. Like, if your limitation is I can do 20 push-ups, we get them to 26 in that session. And they go, oh my God, this is a different being that I am. I thought I'm a 20 push-ups person, but I'm a 26. I can push through my limits. Change is now, change is good. This is the reprogramming through the body of your brain that happens in those 60 minutes. And that's exactly what I do as a sales coach. And people think, oh, I'm not good at prospecting. And then I do it with them and they get out and say, I can do this. But I didn't know about it. If you had asked me, Simon, when you do sales coaching, what do you do? I would have said, I'm half a cheerleader, half a drill sergeant. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of true. Those are archetypes of leaders, right? But there is something between those two. And I found that thing in between those two. And now I call it the spotter. So you're in the gym, you are doing a bench press, let's say 20 kilograms is your bench. Bench press is when you lie down and you lift a barbell with 20 kilograms on it. I don't know how many pounds that is. But your personal record, let's say it's 20, and now you want to go for 25. What do? You can't do it on your own. You have to ask somebody, can you spot me? That's the spotter. You can pick somebody, a random guy, or you can have somebody that you train with regularly. And so I am the spotter for entrepreneurs. They can lift 20. That becomes their identity for that day. And I get them to 26 in one session. That's the strategy sprints method, literally. But I didn't know how to express it with so much clarity. So what is actually the essence of the strategy sprints method? I now have clarity on that essence and how to communicate it and what it actually does. And it took me forever, but now there is clarity. So that's my example on positioning. You can work on your branding, on your positioning forever, but then you have a weekend experience somewhere else and it clicks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I have an issue. Keep on talking. I will be back in a few seconds.
Sure. So this is what happens after the weekend. On a Sunday, I get this certification, and then on Monday, there was Jetpack Workshop number 2. And if you guys remember, Jetpack Workshop is this series where we do a 2 hours class, which is a sales gym. We break through one sales topic, problem, right? There is one sales wall that people are hitting. We break through that wall. And this time, Jetpack 2 was about how to build your board of advisors, AI board of advisors. And Claude and I, we went back and forth and said, I'm creating such incredible breakthroughs in those Pilates classes when I do the playlist and the sequencing, because you think about the order of exercises. For example, a good sequence has floor exercises and then standing exercises. A bad sequence would have you stand up for burpees, then you go down for abs, then you stand up for jumping jacks. It's a stupid sequence. It happens. I see people doing those classes. It's not well designed because you're creating a lot of friction, stand up, go down, stand up, go down, which does not burn more calories. The goal of a Pilates class is to burn as many calories as possible. It's 500 calories, 600 calories in the session. And then there is an afterburn, another 20 hours of where you're still sweating like hours later. And why am I sweating? Because there is an afterburn. So the goal is increase the burn per hour, and you can do a lot of things of sequencing that do not increase the burn. Those are bad classes. A good class clusters, the floor work and then the standing work, so that you don't create any friction. And that's why it feels so easy, but you have actually achieved a higher personal record, more push-ups, more burpees, because the flow was right and the music was motivating you, and the class synchronicity that everybody was doing it at the same time was motivating you. So there is mirror neurons. There is a lot going on in how you create that sequence. And when it works, it feels effortless for you, and you push through your limitations. I forgot what the point was that I was bringing across.
That you found something in between the two things you've always thought you did.
Yeah,
You said I'm this and this, and now you identified the role of the spotter.
correct. That's the spotter. And that
Yeah.
was for me the clarity in my positioning, right? And we experience this with clients all the time, that you work on branding, you work on things, you get to a certain point, but then you have to let go, because there will be experiences in the market and even outside of the market that will bring you that extra information, and then it clicks. So give yourself time. If you're listening to this and go, I don't know what I stand for and who I am and what's the deeper essence of who I'm being when I'm doing my work, it's fine. Start noticing, right? Start writing it down, start noticing, because it will come to you. Pattern, people will tell you. Ask for feedback, obviously. We always debrief. And also you see the feedback. You see if somebody comes in like this and then they walk out like this. That's feedback. You see their eyebrows, you see their posture.
Yeah.
And obviously in the market, the numbers are number one feedback, like the metrics.
Yes. And also the flow, like the ease. You can hit the numbers, but if you're always hitting the numbers through, like pushing through, managing, controlling, like if it takes a lot of energy to get those results, that's an indicator that you're doing it the wrong way. You're losing the flow, right? This is what I'm listening for when I'm working with my clients. I'm listening for the language. I'm listening for the experience. And I say, okay, this is not the way you should do it. This may be something that works for someone else. But when you find the flow for that person, right, this is exactly what I do in my one-on-one coaching. Identifying exactly where they should channel their personal energy to get the biggest results for them and do it with ease. I call it high performance on easy mode, Simon. That's the inner work that happens. When the more you know who you are, the easier it becomes to get those results if you do it in a way that is aligned with your purpose and who you are as an entity, right? And most people don't know that, because we are like 80% of what has shaped us and our behavior today is conditioning from the outside. And that's why it's so hard. You have to peel off all of those layers, and there are multiple layers.
Yes. And it might come to you with ease, like it came to me over the weekend. I was basically on holidays. I said I take 3 days of holidays, of me time. I just want to experience a group, an international group with cool music and some workouts.
Because that's when you're malleable.
Mm-hmm.
When you take yourself out of the frame that you're always operating in, because as long as you're in the frame, you think this is who I am, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So putting yourself in a different environment with different input,
Mm-hmm.
that actually works as the spotter for you, right? that helped you catch something in you that you couldn't see in your day-to-day life.
Yes, and there were multiple spotters. So Gabby was the spotter, obviously. She spent 30 years, 20 years, 30 years. She went to every Tony Robbins program, and she did not just go there. She has listened to every single word that Tony said. She has implemented it. And she's also thought about, why does he use this word right now?
Mhm.
So she did something that I did too. She learned NLP and hypnosis therapy. So in my first career, I was a hypnosis therapist, and she learned that whole thing too, like how language shapes the unconscious, which words have which impact, not just on the conscious but on the unconscious.
Mhm.
And so she was very dialed in on each word. She did additional classes over 20 years. She went to um, acting classes to learn how to speak clearly. She went to systems design workshop where you understand that you are in an ecology of things, right? She went to Russell Brunson's marketing funnel stuff to understand sales and sales psychology, and she went to copywriting things. She did 10 certifications on her own in 10 different things, from Zumba to powerlifting. So she came very prepared, and we got the condensed essence of all those certifications. So that was one spotter. Second spotter was the music. When you are 3 days in a room with the most conducive music, in this case it was house and techno, very loud, it just lifts your energy. It's not the same thing as, a piano sonata all the time. Or no music. When I'm sitting here on my desk and doing spreadsheets and talking to Claude, there is no loud music. So it was a different trance, a trance outside of our day-to-day trance, into a room of possibilities. And then the third thing was the group. When you synchronize a group, you can say, hey guys, do this. But if you actually synchronize them, like for example, okay, let's do bridges now, up and down, up and down. And you have some music. Let's say you have this music, and then you say up and down, up and down. And everybody's doing it at the same time. The mirror neurons kick in. So you automatically create relationship, create resonance. And that makes you feel belonging and bonded and connection. And then your body relaxes, right?
Mhm.
And then you go, I can do this. And it becomes easier. And now you have that relationship. So when the group starts maybe pacing faster, maybe you can do 5 push-ups, but you see the group going to the 6th push-up, the 7th push-up. Now you don't just stop there, because you are connected to the group on a deep level, on a level of being. And it's like the body of the group becomes your body becomes stronger because you can use that energy too. And just because of the synchronicity of the doing, you just got more power.
Mhm.
And since I'm running groups, so the next day I was running my group, Jetpack 2, and I tried it there. And I said, okay, so we have now built these 3 advisors. Go test them. You were in the room, right? I said, go test them. And if they work already, and you can feel the jetpack, then post in the chat jetpack. And they were posting jetpack. So that was a moment where I could translate what I had experienced on the weekend into my normal business setting. And it's powerful.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're seeing the light, Simon. You're just beginning. I'm so looking forward to what we can do once we start tapping into the nervous system and the actual anatomy of the nervous system, because that controls everything. That actually shapes the physique of your body. It shapes your physical anatomy. It's amazing. When you go down those layers, the insights you get.
Yeah, let's go there.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
more. Tell us more. You got our attention.
Your nervous system, everyone is talking about nervous system reset, right? That's just the surface. What you really want to do is do the actual rewiring. And that is what you have seen in the room in real time when people go, remember when they 10x their goal? That's a nervous system rewiring. But it's also personal for every individual. So we have, like you do yoga, we have consciousness centers all through the body. And one or two of them dominates your entire nervous system. And that's where you push your energy through. But if someone tells you this is how you should do it, and it's not aligned with where you can push through most of the energy, it's like pushing the energy through a pipe that is too small. And now it becomes hard. Because he did it that way and it worked for him. Yes, but you are using it's like you're using the wrong pipe. You're using the smaller one instead of the one with a bigger dimension. So for me, it's words, right? I use words to inspire and motivate. You're really good. You have that too, but you're also really good with systems, right? I should never try to build systems. I use other people's systems. But you use systems and putting things into the right place, and then you use words to inspire people. Those are your two biggest assets when it comes to leadership. Systems, putting things into place, and inspiring them. Mine is inspiring them and seeing things that doesn't even exist yet. But never get me organized. Or
Yeah.
I should never get anyone else organized, right? That's not what I should do.
That's why you have Jarvis now.
Yes, like I can barely get myself organized. But if someone comes to me, right, and I see that they are not, they need to feel deeply, then that is what we tap into. Because those people have an amazing heart. They can go out into the world and create amazing connections. So that's how I use my spotter ability to see, okay, where do you have the most power in your body, in your nervous system? And then we take away everything else and we focus on that. And that's where the magic happens. So that's that's how I spot.
Powerful.
And the things that people clear away is amazing. So you do less, you do more with less, right? Optimizing. So when you optimize the inside and when you optimize the outside and you combine the two, and that is a journey that takes a bit time, but it's so worth it.
Totally.
And it was really fun in the room to see how everyone got results, right? Monday.
You would feel it. Yes, in the jetpack workshop, you could feel it. And I said, guys, I'm feeling jetpacks now here in the room being created. If you feel them, write jetpack in the chat. Jetpack, jetpack, jetpack. So yes, it was happening. Much more. So much more than in Jetpack 1. Because Jetpack 1, I was still more cognitive and technical. And when you have a topic that's technical, let's say a finance topic, or our topic was how to use AI in sales processes, it can be very technical, right? Let's talk about folder structures. And then it's hard to have that breakthrough energy when you're talking about folder structures. So if you're listening to this and you're a technical team, you're building a product that's technical, you're building something it's maybe in finance, it's numerical, don't give up. Okay, don't give up yet, because I'm in a technical profession too. Like business is about improving numbers. In the end, it's about improving the profits. But we don't have to give up. We can be as transformative as a loud house music Pilates class, which is more like a club than anything else, right? You can be as cool as that club. That's my message to you. If you understand the biomechanics and the systems dynamics of a group, so if you work that group, you can do very technical stuff and still it feels like rock and roll happening.
Mm-hmm.
And you can study people and you can study groups. That's why I was studying all these high performing teams like the UK rowing team, etc., to see how do they get to push through their limitations week by week and winning Olympics. And if you have trained for an Olympic race, you know how much pressure it is and how many times you want to give up. Like a lot of times. Most people don't even get there because it's so hard. So how do they do it? And I was studying them and studying them and studying them. And Monica is studying tell us what are you studying to find out about high performance?
I am, well, you know my rabbit hole. It's nervous system because there are so many layers.
Yeah, but the listeners have no idea what that is.
Yes. Okay. So we have the body is okay, here's the connection. The algorithm. The body is an algorithm, just like any social media platform. Just like when you use AI, you have to start looking like it's making assumptions, right? We're making so many assumptions about ourselves. And the nervous system is an algorithm. So if you understand the algorithm, then now you can use less tokens to
Wow, now
get
you're
better
getting
results.
technical. We
Now
have
I'm
to
getting
help them get
technical.
less technical.
But that is why, right? Working with me is an experience because until you have the experience, you're trying to understand it and you won't. So you have to experience that work, but it is extremely powerful because your body is, there is no such thing as the mind and the body, right? It's all connected.
I have experienced your breakthrough. So you came into one session of the 200K club and
Hmm.
you did run that session
Hmm.
and you said, okay, guys, give me your financial goals right now, your monetary goals for the next 90 days. They gave you a number. And then you asked them to 10x that number.
Hmm.
So you brought them to breakdown basically, because if you're planning to
Yes.
make 300,000 in the next 90 days and now you have to make 10 times that, it breaks everything in your mind, in your body. You go, oof, totally overwhelmed.
Hmm.
You stress them out,
Hmm.
but then you pick them up at that. Oh, you are stressed. Okay, let's work with that stress. You did your magic. And in the next 10 minutes, the stress was gone and you brought them into a state where they could actually believe their own 10x number.
Yeah.
Just because you changed their state of mind, how they feel right now in their body.
We actually didn't work with the mind at all. We bypassed the brain. That is what I do because the brain is the most reluctant thing ever. When the brain has decided something, it doesn't want to change, right? But the brain at
That's
any
why I
given
do
time,
Pilates, by the way, because you can
yes,
tell me
yes,
everything, but I want to see your burpees and I want to get you
yeah,
10% more on
yes,
those burpees. And afterwards we talk, and then the most problems are solved already. Or
mhm,
you go, I can do this.
yeah. Because here's the thing, right? At any given time, there is more information going from your heart to your brain. from your stomach to your brain, right? Any given time. There's more information coming from the body to the brain than the other way around. So what you do is you change the big mass of information in the body. And when that changes, your brain starts thinking differently because the brain needs the info, right? So now it's getting different info from the body. Why do you believe you're stronger after all of those burpees? If you've actually broken down your muscles.
Because you actually are stronger. So you have activated a ton of
Mhm,
systems in the body.
mhm,
The glutes
mhm,
system, the
mhm,
uh, the core system, which is front core, your abs, back core, your lat, your latissimus dorsi, and the bottom of your core. So there is a whole. There are 4 systems just in the core, and you have strengthened them. So now they
yeah,
have more blood flow, and
mhm.
as you would say, probably now they are bringing up more information to the brain.
Different information, right? So imagine you can do that with your muscles, you can do that with your fascia, you can do that with your nerves, you can do that with your organs, right? You can change the state of the heart, which is what happens. You talked about the music thing, right? This is what the Heart Math
Mm.
Center do with heart coherence,
Yes,
right?
that's why
Yeah.
house music, because it's the heartbeat.
Hmm. And I have seen that, right? I was at this session with like this whole day with one of the founder of Heart Math Center, and they actually connected people that they put this thing on so that it can monitor the heart rhythm, and you can see everyone's heart going at different paces,
Mhm.
and then they started singing together, and you could see on the screen, on a big screen, you could see how their hearts started going like coherently with each other. 4 hearts getting in rhythm together, right?
There is the same thing in rowing boats. If you look
Mhm,
at, the UK rowing team, the US rowing team, the New Zealand rowing team, and there were studies to look at the synchronicity of their heart rate. If they train together in a boat of 4, in a boat of 8, over months for an Olympic race, and you just and they're not training right now, but you just measure their heart rate right now, it's synchronized
yes.
because during training they synchronize it, and it becomes a standard that they're synced the same way during that training period.
Mhm. And so it's like you can have a group of people or you can have a body. Basically the
Mm.
same thing. Is the group synced or not? You will see a massive, uh, like, the results will just vary so much, right?
Because 4 bodies become actually one body, right? If
Yes.
you translate that into a company and you have 50 people, you can have just 50 random things happening, or one thing happening 50 times.
Yes. And that is not 50 times more.
Mm-hmm.
That is like you get the synergy effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden 50 become like the output becomes maybe the same of 100 people
Mm-hmm.
in that company before, right? And it's the same thing in the body. If you have the like the signals from the muscles, from your fascia, from your organs, from your nervous system, all being aligned and now pushing up all of that information into your brain will start behaving differently.
Yeah.
Your thoughts will be different.
Yes.
And you didn't do that by cognitively thinking about your thoughts. You changed the information coming from the body. And that is what we see like in that session that we did. When people started thinking differently, we didn't change their mind. We changed the information in the system. And now the processor that is the brain starts thinking differently. Sometimes I tell my clients like they change in the split of a second and they start talking differently. And I just look at them and I say, "Do you hear yourself now?" And they go, "What? Yeah, can you repeat what you just said?" And they say
That,
it once more and they go, "Whoa."
that's one thing I learned from Gabby. notice how your body is getting stronger. So sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they have a transformation or a micro transformation. And if we bring their attention there, notice how it's getting easier to do this push up. Notice how it's easier for you to go in a lower plank. If you bring their attention there, now that's another reinforcing loop. So for example,
Yes.
your marketing team is doing better LinkedIn posts, but they're not noticing it. And if you say, notice how your post is getting 3% more engagement, now you bring their attention there, and that creates a learning loop. They go, oh, interesting. Let me find out which word that was. And now next week, the marketing outcomes are better.
Yeah, and that's what happened in the room Monday when people got the feedback from these agents they were creating, right? And then they got the feedback right away, and you could actually see on people's faces. Oh, like one person in the room looked at the screen, and you could see the person was almost like, "Oh, I'm busted."
Yes.
Yes,
So
and
for
that
people
is where the
who
shift
weren't there,
happens.
the Jetpack 2 was we built in 2 hours of the Jetpack workshop. We built 3 advisors, a marketing advisor, a sales advisor, and a technical advisor who are AIs but behave like real time, very smart, very speedy humans.
Yeah, and I could see on that person's face, it was almost like, oh, now I cannot get away because that advisor pointed to all of these things, and that's like all of the weaknesses around this particular part of my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like when you do your first pull up or push up, that's how you feel. You feel like, oh my God, I'm the only weak person on the planet.
Mhm.
It's normal. I was a triathlete for years, and then I went to the gym with a buddy and I did a normal gym program. And I felt like I'm the only weak person in the whole gym, but I'm training every day. But I wasn't training for strength, I was training for only endurance. So you're not
Right.
strong if you just train for endurance. And when you feel it the first time, you go, I am weak. I want to get out of this.
Yeah.
But and you can say to yourself, okay, this is my PR today. This is my personal record today. Tomorrow, I will hit through this. So today I can do 2 push-ups. Okay. Tomorrow I will do 3.
Yeah. It's of course it's hard. Of course it's difficult. Of course it's embarrassing. It's a first. It's kind of supposed to be hard and embarrassing and painful.
It-
I'm doing a 28-day fascia reset right now. And it's also amazing. I know that if I just keep doing it for 28 days, I know there will be a result. But there are some of those movements that are kind of embarrassing right now because they're
Sounds
hard.
like a lot of twists. Is it Bikram
Yes, yes.
twists? Mm.
It's a lot of twisting
Mm-hmm.
and bending,
Powerful.
but the high afterwards,
Yeah.
I love it.
I sometimes I cry after a 90 minutes hot Pigram class, Pigram yoga, because you twist everything out of the muscles. And so all that stress, all that things from years ago, and I just
Mhm,
cry, but it's a good crying because
mhm.
everything just gets out of the muscles, right? No, I think you're right. It's in the fascia, it's even between the muscles, right?
It's in
Yeah.
yes, it's in the fascia because it stores. So there, and when it once again we get back to that. Why do you cry, right? Because it's releasing,
Yeah.
and when that releases, now your thinking becomes more positive, right?
Yeah.
Because that old programming. So I call it. This is not a scientific word, but I call it the loop lock release. You know when you have a loop lock and it just no matter how much you like turn and twist everything, that it's just locked. But when you find that release, you just push it and now everything opens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of the process you have to go through. It's both your body and your brain. And you have to find where the release is. And sometimes it's a physical thing, right? It's an emotional thing, or it's a mind thing, but they're all connected. And I think the hardest place to get that release is the mind. It's easier in the rest of the system. But
I
when
had
you
a
get that release, yeah.
I had a physical log here to demonstrate that, but I can find
Hmm.
it next time I bring it to you.
But that's how it happens. It's not just one thing,
Yeah.
but you have to find where the release is.
Yes. And the reason why I love systems, which is not even true, I don't love system. I I build systems. What I love is, rowing, playing tennis, dancing to loud house music. That's what I love. But in order to break through your current limitations, and business means always growth, always innovation, always improving, building, shipping. So you every day you have to push through walls. And everybody listening to this is a business owner, and they know it, and they know how hard it is. And there are some weeks where you just go, "Oh, not another wall, not another wall, come on." But then, boom, next email, doof, next problem, IT problem, legal problem, tax problem, sales problem, marketing problem. How many walls per day can I stomach? Right? And it's funny, we both came to a body solution to this problem.
Yeah.
And I'm not a body person, I'm an intellectual spreadsheet kind of guy. Ask my wife. She says, "Oh, you're so in your brain," right? Uh, but we both came from different angles to the solution that we have to go through the body, through the nervous system, through all the systems of the body.
But that's, I wasn't a body person either.
Mm-hmm.
But that was where that's where the release is. That is
Yeah.
where, and that is where the potential actually lies. The brain is a processor. It's brilliant to process information, but to actually make things real in this world, you have to be in your body. Like, you have to be physically present, even to make close a sale, to have that conversation. You have to be present in the now, right? And that happens in your body. If you're not present, people will notice.
And that's the one thing AI doesn't have. That's a body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the
Mm-hmm.
limitation.
Yes.
And so, do I understand it correctly? This is new for me. You say
Mm-hmm.
the body has more information than the mind. And so that's the actual highway from the body to the mind. Your mind will work differently if it can access all that information.
Yes, you've done yoga. You know that we have different levels of consciousness. We deem the subconscious as a like substandard level of consciousness. Here's the issue. It doesn't have direct access to language. That's the trick. That's what the brain has. That's the asset that the brain sits on. It has language. So instead of trying to shape the experience by using language, if you bring up the experience and see it for what it really is, and now you add language to it, now you can see what of those experiences serve you and which doesn't. And that's what we did, right? When we add the 0 to the financial goal, we bring up the experience. Now we can use language to shape it and shift it. But if you try to force language on the experience, you're using a very small leverage. The other way around, you get massive leverage. That's the trick.
You have to write a book.
Oh, yeah. I have AI now, so I can do it.
And and what can people read up like this week before they have your book? Where can people study these things?
Oh, you can come to my LinkedIn page and connect with me. That's the easiest part. Like I am putting out information in small mouthpiece or mouth-sized pieces right now that they can read and start listening to whatever is going on. below the brain, the sensation, because there is so much information in them. Just like you experienced on that 3-day education, and just like actually we saw visceral reactions in the room Monday.
Mamma mia, Monday was so powerful. Jetpack, guys, there is third jetpack coming up in June. This is when we accelerate your sales processes. You can expect breakthroughs. And in the chat, there will be jetpack, breakthrough. I promise, guys, I promise. We have found out the mechanics on how to do that on repeat. But you don't have to wait a month, actually. You can go to strategysprints.com/JVC and join one of the current small groups that work every week. It's like a sales gym, right? We come together to train, to get fitter, to break through sales walls. And the way we do it is we actually exercise together. And my job is to create a space that is safe, that is conducive, that is motivating enough so that we break through our different walls. And everybody has a superpower in there. You just felt Monica's superpower. There are many more superpowers in there. And so together, that makes it possible. Thank you so much, Monica. Go to Monica's LinkedIn profile, guys. It's Monica Bozinov. And keep rolling, everyone. Have a great week.